Now we move on to the next important fields of linguistics, which is called as semantics. Semantics is the study of meaning in language. We know that language is used to express meanings which can be understood by others. But meaning exists in our minds, and we can express what is in our minds through the spoken and written forms of language, as well as through gestures, actions, etc. And the sound patterns of language are studied at the level of phonology, and the organization of words and sentences is studied at the level of morphology and syntax. These are in turn organized in such a way that we can convey meaningful messages or receive and understand messages. So you're well aware of the term what semantics is. Semantics is the systematic study of the meaning of linguistic expressions like morphemes, words, phrases, sentences, or even texts. Semantics is, in fact, the literal meaning, this is important, the literal meaning of sentences, phrases, words, and morphemes. I'm sure that you know all the words which are here, like you know what morphemes are. Morphemes are the minimal meaningful units in a language, like suffixes and prefixes or free forms or bound forms. And words, yes, the complete words are free forms. Phrases, group of words. Sentences, a complete meaningful group of words is a sentence, or even text, even bigger, you know, where you have group of sentences. And semantics is concerned with meaning, but it is concerned with the literal meaning of the sentences, phrases, words, and morphemes. Okay, here there are certain definitions of semantics. Semantics is the study of meaning. It's a very concise definition, and he has said that it's concerned with meaning. He has not told us whether conceptual meaning or associative meaning, what kind of meaning, that is literal meaning or stylistic meaning. Meanings are also, you know, of different kinds, but he says semantics is a study of meaning. And this is okay. This is easier to remember. If somebody asks you what is semantics, you may just say that semantics is the study of meaning. This is given by Lyons in 1977, and semantics is a study of meaning in language. This is given by Hufford and Heasley in 1983. So these are certain definitions. He has just added in language. Semantics is the study of meaning in language. Note down the definitions. What do they convey? Said, a very famous linguist, says that semantics is the study of meaning communicated through language. Yes, when we communicate through language, we in fact communicate through language, written or spoken, even through body gestures. When we communicate through language, we are communicating the meaning. This is what Said has said. Semantics is the study of meaning communicated through language. Our spoken and written words, they have a meaning, and this is communicated, and this communication of meaning is called as semantics according to Said. Lobanar says that semantics is a part of linguistics that is concerned with meaning. So there is no change here, just the same. And Frawley puts it like this: linguistic semantics is the study of literal, decontextualized grammatical meaning. Now he makes it specific. He specifies. He calls it linguistic. Well, whenever you have this adjective added to semantics, that means the person or the linguist is talking about the literal meaning. Linguistic semantics deals with the literal meaning. Linguistic semantics is the study of literal, decontextualized. Context is not important here. Literal meaning is important. Grammatical meaning, meaning conveyed by S plus V plus O structure. That meaning, what does the subject, what is the subject, what is the verb, what action is going on, or what is the object, this thing, this grammatical meaning. This is given by Frolle. And Cradler says that linguistic semantics is the study how languages organize and express meanings. So he also more or less say the same thing. Linguistic semantics is the study how languages organize, because there are thousands of words, uncountable words. You may say in human mind, I'm talking about sounds and then words, and express, they all express meanings. So what does semantic do? Semantics organizes those words and it gives us meaning. This is what it means. Linguistic semantics is a study of how languages organize and express meaning. Means they are not organized. Words that you have are not organized, and semantics does the work of organizing and the words and giving them meaning. This is what it means. So in semantic analysis, the focus is on what the words mean and not on what the speaker wants to convey. This is very important, and I would like you to note down this. This is something important, and we can even highlight this fact. In semantic analysis, the focus is on what the words mean. That means the literal meaning, and not on what the speaker wants to convey. To capture the speaker's intention and purpose, there is a separate field of linguistics study which is called as pragmatics. Pragmatics we are going to take up after this field. Presently we are dealing with semantics. Semantic deals with only the literal meaning, the conceptual meaning, you may say. Semantic has been ignored by the structural grammars because it is difficult to analyze meaning within the framework of classification and segmentation. So what does semantic do? Here you have classification S plus V plus O plus C plus A and the meaning of these words. So this is a kind of segmentation. Now by doing this you only get the literal meaning. You do not get the associative meaning or the stylistic meaning, or the meaning the speaker has in his mind, the speaker wants to convey. So this is important. Thus semantics has a confined periphery, you may say, a confined periphery. Whereas pragmatics is very open. There can be different shades of meaning, like you have to predict meaning, what the speaker is trying to convey through his utterance. This is what is done in pragmatics, whereas you keep yourself confined to the literal meaning of what the sentence has been said or conveyed by the speaker, whether it's say a written sentence or a spoken sentence. You are simply concerned with the meaning of the sentence, the literal meaning of the sentence. A semanticist is confined to literal meaning of words and sentences. That is why the multi-layers of meanings of a language remain beyond his study. This is what we were trying to say. Okay, this is what we were trying to convey. Yes. A semanticist. Who is a semanticist? Semanticist is the one who studies or works on semantics, is confined to literal meaning of words and sentences. That is why the multi-layers of meanings of a language has multi-layers, different shades of layers, they remain beyond his study. For example, the English verb mean. You all know mean, okay, a very common verb, and its derivations, which mm, you get after adding suffixes, derivation show that, and the part of speech is also change, as you know, mean or sometimes change or sometimes not change. For example, the English verb mean and its derivation show that the term is used in numerous ways. Yes, of course, it is used in numerous ways that have little to do with semantics. Why? Because semantics is only concerned with the literal meaning and not the associative meaning. That is why it remains confined to the literal meaning. However, the word mean has numerous meanings. To mention just a few usages of the said word, that is mean, like mean, meaning, ing is added, and meaningful, ful is added here as suffix. In the following sentence, for instance, can be understood as intent, worthless, purpose, significant, and hence the word mean does not correspond to its literal meaning, which means sense, denote, and suggest. Yeah, we shall see the examples, we shall see the sentences that follow. But before that, I would like to tell you that the literal meaning of word mean is sense. When you say that I mean, okay, that means you say you denote, or it gives it that sense, or it suggests. Literally, the word mean means sense, denote, and suggest. This is, you may say, semantics, but the word mean and its derivatives may convey several other meanings. Let us see what are those meanings. Like I mean no harm. I mean, here this means I mean no harm. When you say I mean no harm, that means you are trying to say that you do not mean, you do not intend any harm. Okay, so it doesn't mean denote, it means intention. I was caught in the mean traffic. We often get disgusted with, because we are in a hurry and we are caught, we are tied up in the traffic. What do we say? I was caught in the mean traffic. Mean here means worthless. Now it's a totally different meaning. Some patients lose meaning in their lives. Yes, they got ill, and some patients get ill, and as a result of their illness they become hopeless, in a state of despair, and they lose meaning in their life. And what does it mean? Losing meaning in one's life means losing purpose. Okay, losing purpose, any wish, any desire, in a way. So some patients lose meaning. Just see, they're all different meanings. So these are all intended by the speaker, and they are all well received by the listener, because they share a kind of understanding. You may say, like, if somebody says to me I was caught in the mean traffic, I can very well understand what the speaker is trying to say, because we study language, we know the meanings, the associative meaning, so we understand one another. We ought to make a meaningful contribution to society. We ought to make a meaningful contribution to society. Now this means significant. We are supposed to make a significant contribution to society. So just see, now this has been used in 4 different ways, but they are all different. They are not literal meanings. Now a semanticist does not take into account these meanings. He is bothered only with the literal meaning. Okay, there is yet another difficulty, that since semantics focuses upon the syntactic structure of sentences and their literal meanings, it overlooks the absurdity involved in the meanings of the sentences. This is also very interesting. This makes an interesting study. I repeat, there is yet another difficulty, that since semantics focuses upon the syntactic structure. Syntactic, again, I just repeat it again, S plus V plus O. This structure is called a syntactic structure of sentences and their literal meanings. It overlooks, what overlooks? Semantic overlooks the absurdity, the oddness, the awkwardness involved in the meaning of the sentences. So, Chomsky shows how a sentence can be well formed syntactically but ill formed semantically. In his oft quoted example, colorless green ideas sleep furiously. This is very funny example and we have discussed it earlier also. Now this is syntactically fine because it is grammatically all right. There is no fault with the sentence syntactically. Colorless green ideas sleep furiously. Everything is at its place and it's a perfectly all right sentence as far as grammatical construction is concerned, or say syntactical formation is concerned. However, this is semantically very odd, very awkward. It is ill-formed, you may say, because it's not making any sense. It is meaningless. Colorless green ideas sleep furiously. So this is ill-formed semantically, or is odd semantically. As far as meaning is concerned, it does not give a sound meaning. It's not meaningfully important or significant. A few such other examples of syntactically good but semantically odd sentences can be: colorless blue coat being dry cleaned in the rain. Again, the same thing you notice here. Colorless, the coat is colorless, yet it has got a color blue. So this makes it odd. Colorless blue coat being dry cleaned in the rain. In fact, when you dry clean any cloth, what do? You keep it away from water, from moisture. But here it is being dry cleaned in the rain. So this is not only funny, also very awkward, very odd. So it's not sound semantically. The pizza ate the girl. In fact, the sentence should have been the girl ate the pizza. The girl ate the pizza. Now word remain the same. Okay, there is no change as far as words are concerned. The girl ate the pizza. If you alter the structure, is semantically all right. But the structure is altered. That is why it becomes semantically awkward. Same can be said about a tourist eats a tiger. Now a tiger eats a tourist. This can happen, and this happens in fact. Okay, a tiger eats a tourist, but a tourist eats a tiger is very odd semantically because the structure, the syntactic structure is altered here. The baby bites the mosquitoes. Same problem with this sentence as well. The baby bites the mosquitoes. The mosquitoes bite the baby. Sentence should have been like this had the sentence been the mosquito bite the baby, then it would have been all right semantically. However, it is the baby bites the mosquitoes that makes it semantically ill-formed. Okay, this is very odd. Keeping in view the above instances, it is essential that a sentence should be both grammatical and meaningful. Here we notice that all these sentences, whether the sentence given by Chomsky, colorless green ideas sleep furiously, or the other sentences which are given here, they are all grammatical. There is no error in them, but they are not meaningfully sound. They are odd, they are awkward, they are ill-formed, you may say, semantically.